Home and Away can be seen again this evening at the later than usual time of 5:30. Then Daredevil hang gliding and parachuting will be two of the events in an exciting Run the Gauntlet Alpine Challenge at 6. The Greatest Game on Earth is a new series which looks at the fantasies and harsh realities of football at 7 o'clock. And then we've Coronation Street, Strike It Lucky, a special edition of This Is Your Life. And from 9:30, with a break for the news, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy star in the unmissable comedy film Trading Places. This is Bank Holiday Monday evening on Ulster Television. But now, before this afternoon's movie Superman 3, starring Christopher Reeve, we bring you the news at 1 from ITN.
The news from ITN.
Aircraft carrying Princess of Wales forced to make emergency landing. Princess Diana was on her way to Italy when the BAE 146 was forced to divert to Gatwick just minutes after leaving Heathrow. It had apparently developed an electrical fault. That's now been fixed and the Princess has restarted her journey.
When the Princess of Wales arrived at Heathrow this morning, final checks on the aircraft had already been completed. There were no signs of any problems as the 20 members of the royal party boarded the plane. It was due to fly first to Ancona in Italy to pick up Prince Charles before flying on to Hungary. But they had only been in the air for 10 minutes when the pilot detected a minor electrical fault and made an emergency landing at Gatwick. Whilst on the runway, the Princess of Wales stayed on the plane whilst the fault was being repaired. The aircraft, a BAE 146, is one of 3 in the royal flight. Maintenance is carried out regularly by the Royal Air Force. The duty manager at Gatwick explained what happened.
The aircraft had departed Heathrow en route for Ancona in Italy and had developed a technical fault, I believe it was an electrical fault, and landed safely with us at 10:52.
This aircraft is regularly used by the royal family. Prince Charles piloted a BAE 146 during his recent West African tour. Joan Thurkettle, ITN, Gatwick.
The president of European football's ruling body, UEFA, says he'll be guided by the British government on whether English clubs should return to Europe next season. But Leonard Johansson says the weekend rioting could delay the comeback by another year. As more Leeds fans appear in court in Bournemouth, the local police chief has called for powers to veto certain matches.
English football clubs have waited 5 long years since the Heysel Stadium disaster to be accepted back into Europe. The weekend violence seems to have put paid to hopes they'd be back next season, but today the president of European football's governing body UEFA says he'll take a lead from the British government.
If I hear that the minister in charge says that he thinks that now the time has come to let the English clubs enter again, but if again they leave it just to us in UEFA to take a decision, that is not an answer.
And the government's reiterated that its attitude will be determined here in Sardinia, where England play in the World Cup next month. Bad behaviour by English fans will make an extended ban on the club certain.
We are on trial throughout the World Cup. We're on trial from the moment our fans start travelling to Italy to the moment the last one gets back to this country.
Mr Moynihan travels to Italy today to assess preparations there. The weekend violence in Bournemouth will have increased fears in Sardinia about the English invasion.
The Baltic Republic of Latvia is to send a delegation to Moscow to try to stop Mr Gorbachev imposing economic sanctions following its declaration of independence. Mr Gorbachev has accused Latvia of violating the Soviet constitution, but the republic's president has appealed for talks.
This was the first meeting of the Latvian parliament since Friday's declaration of independence, and there was clearly concern about Mikhail Gorbachev's weekend warning that he'd use political and economic pressure to bring Latvia back into line. MPs hope the delegation they're sending to Moscow will be able to defuse the situation.
We hope that Gorbachev understands our aims and Gorbachev's answers and invites us to official meeting.
The new Latvian president, Anatolis Gorbanovs, appeared on television to stress that Friday's declaration hadn't closed the door on dialogue. He appealed for Moscow not to threaten a blockade, not to return to what he called the old ways. Latvians gathered outside the parliament building again today to demonstrate their support for the break with Moscow. Elsewhere in the capital Riga, people argued with Soviet soldiers. It's claimed that extra troops were sent in last week as independence was being discussed. Tim Hewitt, ITN, Moscow.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Sir Geoffrey Howe, has said that most Conservative MPs now want the issue of the party leadership set aside. And he added that in his view it was less likely that there would be another leadership challenge this autumn. Labour said the Tories were in turmoil. 6 inmates are still involved in a rooftop protest at Dublin's Mountjoy prison. Since yesterday afternoon, the men have been on the roof of a wing housing prisoners with AIDS. The protesters want improved conditions and HIV-positive prisoners placed in separate accommodation. They have no food and had a very cold night. Police in the United States have uncovered a plot to buy Stinger anti-aircraft missiles for Colombia's biggest drug cartel. A number of people are under arrest. Simon Harris reports.
President Rogelio Barco is well aware his tough anti-drug stand could cost more than just his political life. Less than a month before Colombia goes to the polls, 3 other presidential candidates have already been assassinated. But at a house in Miami, an undercover operation by the FBI has foiled the latest plot to have Barco killed. The cocaine cartels were set to buy more than 100 Stinger anti-aircraft missiles. The authorities are in no doubt about the intended target, Colombia's presidential plane. And in another blow for the drug barons, the Army and Air Force has attacked a cocaine processing plant deep in the jungle. It turned out to be one of the most successful raids since the latest crackdown on drug dealers began 9 months ago. The soldiers seized 12 tons of cocaine worth nearly $900 million, the biggest drugs haul in Colombia for 6 years.
In Pakistan, at least 12 people are now thought to have been killed and a further 40 injured when a bomb ripped through a carriage of an express train. The Tazgam Express, travelling to Karachi from Rawalpindi, was stopped at a small station outside Lahore in eastern Punjab. The bomb exploded in a first-class carriage which was crowded with more than 60 people at the time. The station is only 15 miles from the border with India, which is being blamed by Punjabis for the bombing. President Roh Tae-woo of South Korea has gone on nationwide television to stop what he described as the chaos spreading across the country as anti-government disturbances increase. The worst clashes happened in the capital Seoul, where students stormed the headquarters of the ruling Democratic Liberal Party. Today sees the inauguration of a new direct air link between Northern Ireland and the Republic. The first plane from Belfast landed at Dublin Airport this morning. It's hoped that the service, run by a Leeds-based airline, will boost tourism on both sides of the border.
Preparing for takeoff this morning, the first regular flight between the 2 major cities of Ireland, Belfast and Dublin. The 3 times a day service is aimed primarily at businessmen and tourists, but it's being seen as a significant step in bringing closer the capital cities of North and South. Until this morning, the train was the fastest transport, but that's been bombed so often that it sparked its own peace train protest last year. The road journey, 2.5 hours, is often delayed by frequent security checks. But Capital Airlines say their passengers haven't expressed any security fears.
With the advanced response that we've had at the moment, we're very, very pleased, and we think it is going to be a successful service indeed.
And the first fare-paying passengers, enjoying the perks of an inaugural flight, said they felt quite safe.
They know the security measures they have to take, and they'll take them.
The security check was total. I've never seen anything like it, so I felt very confident.
With advanced bookings higher than expected, other airlines will be watching the service carefully. Jonathan Munro, ITN, Dublin.
Finally, 2 Norwegians have become the first people to walk to the North Pole unaided. At least 13 previous attempts have failed, including 4 by the British explorer Sir Ranulph Fiennes. Erling Kagge and Børge Ausland made the 500-mile trek from Canada on skis, with no help from dogs or aircraft. And that's the news so far today. We're back at 5:15. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, those temperatures of 25 or more have finally disappeared, with the south waking up this morning to the fresher weather that's been in the north for 2 or 3 days. The showers, though, are staying mostly in the north, as you can see from the latest cloud scan. A lot of cloud up there. The thicker, darker cloud over the northeast of Scotland will produce most of the rain today. Just the odd shower in the central parts, mostly sunny in the south. So here's a picture in more detail for this afternoon. As I say, it's the northeast of Scotland that will see most of the thick cloud and outbreaks of rain. A lot of showers in the rest of Scotland and Northern Ireland too, with quite a cool northerly wind. Other northern parts of England and Wales, quite a bit of cloud around, some sunshine and a few showers too, so not too bad a day there. But the best of today's weather is in the south again, and in the far south especially, where you'll have a lot of sunshine. The cloud will build up a little bit during the afternoon, and there's just the chance of a shower, but most of southern parts staying dry. A wide variation in the temperatures. It's much cooler in the south than it was yesterday, a good 6 degrees cooler, but still 18 to 20 is very warm for May, so a fine, pleasant afternoon. The further north you are, the temperatures fall away a little bit, and it really is quite cold in the northeastern parts of Scotland, with all that cloud and outbreaks of rain, 9 a chilly 48. Let's go ahead a little way now and see what's in store. Well, tomorrow is another day of sunny spells and showers, really. I think during the morning, most of the showers in the north, but as we go through into the afternoon, a few showers breaking out in the south too. Temperatures typically 12 to 16, 16 at best is about 61. For Wednesday, well, the showers beginning to die out in the north as brighter weather edges in there, but a lot of showers for the south and maybe even the odd thunderstorm. By Thursday, the showers becoming more confined to the southeastern corner, so much of Britain dry on Thursday, we think, with fine weather coming in for Scotland. Friday is a fine, warm and sunny day for most of the day, but thicker cloud coming into the northwest as we into the afternoon and the evening, so another front turning up there. That's about it from me. Here's the Sunset Times and a summary of what's in store.
Run the Gauntlet is in the Swiss Alps this evening with hang gliding, parachuting and skiing, all part of the exciting Alpine Challenge at 6 o'clock. But now the film Superman